Chicago, welcome into the Chicago Sports Podcast, coming at you live on this beautiful Sunnyside summer Thursday. Head to sunnyside.shop, the nearest Sunnyside cannabis dispensary, and use code HICHGO for 35% off your first order. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois mid-card holders. What's up, everyone? I am Kevin Kaduk. That is Carman, his robotic cell phone voice.
Yes, Carman.
And joining us for this emergency podcast is a guy who has been openly wishing for the Chicago Bears to be on Hard Knocks. Guilty as charged, Greg Braggs Jr.
Let's go. It's an exciting day. I'm glad this got slid in here at the last second before I almost weaseled my way out of the studios. The Chicago Bears are going to be on HBO. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get my face on an HBO camera.
All right, so I'm very upset with both of you. You started the show. We've been on for 60 seconds, and no one has given Gary Ross credit. The man has been reporting that this was going to happen 10 years ago, 10 months ago, 10 days ago. He knew. He's been out there. Yes. Everybody wants to give him credit. You just tweeted something weird about Gary and you having some type of relationship that may be uncomfortable last night.
No one knows who you're talking about.
Gary Ross,
one of our friends.
There you go.
Gary Ross, Gary Rappaporter in our chat every single day. He knew. The top of the tops of our diehards. We don't rank him, but he is one of the tops. He was there last night in Elk Grove for our Cubs remote and our Bears After Dark remote show in Elk Grove at Real Time Sports Bar. And he's been saying this since February. He's been calling a lot of different things on the Chicago Bears beat, and he's just a hardworking, blue-collar guy running circles around the Chicago media. Take that,
So what's interesting is last week we got some intel that this was going to come down the pike. I think we thought maybe Tuesday, and then our source said, well, not happening Tuesday, definitely Wednesday. Then they held it off on Wednesday, so it was like, okay, up in the air. What do you think happened? Do you think the Bears tried to hold out on this at all, or do you think eventually they just had no choice but to say yes?
I do think that the Bears right now are feeling sick inside that this is happening. I think they did everything they possibly.
George is crying somewhere.
Yes, George is nauseous. The Flus is like, oh no, I'm getting exposed. I know I'm in trouble. I mean, I think that like Ryan Poles is fully comfortable. I think that Caleb Williams is like, sweet, this is awesome. I think Roma Dunze is going to be like, great, I'll get myself announced earlier. And I think most guys, will be fine with it. But it is going to be it's going to be extra. It'll be cool. It'll be. I think we are. I mean, I'm super excited about it because we watch 1920 football drive, and it just seems so unbelievably scripted and staged.
So you said that. I mean, I thought this was probably the best episode of 1920 that I ever seen. I love the behind the scenes stuff, and I know you have your conspiracy theories. But to me, that just whetted my appetite. I was just like, I cannot wait for their Hard Knocks cameras, which I would assume that they've got so much more, so many more crews. They're obviously going home with the players.
Right.
Things like that.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, with 1920 football, drive, there can be some script to it. There can be, they get final say on final cut of, all right, we're going to edit this part out.
Right.
If somebody
Kevin
says
Warren
something,
says, put one more shot of in there of me nodding as Ryan Poles says something.
But with HBO, that's, I'm sure the Bears will have some say, but at the end of the day, like when they're getting those hot mics on those players where they're saying stuff to their teammates or they're in private with their friends or family, they get those, intimate moments. They're not going to get final cut. Yeah. So we're going to get, that fourth wall is going to get broken down to where we can kind of see behind the scenes more than we ever have with the Bears. So to me, like you asked the question, do I think this has been in the works for a while? Yeah, I think they've had the Bears as their top candidate, since February, like Gary's been trying to say. And I'm sure there was some, tug of war on the Bears wanting to. Honestly, I do think an element of this was, I think the Bears might have been like, okay, we're considering agreeing to this, but let's get Caleb Williams in our house and see how things are going first. Because I think there was that part of it too. Sure. Like if they had agreed to it 2 months ago, then they draft Caleb Williams and the dynamic is like, oh, I don't know if we want this center stage. But now they've had a few weeks and I think they feel comfortable, putting him in the spotlight before he's ever played it down as a Chicago Bear.
Can we do a little bit behind the scenes for just a second? Because 10 minutes ago,
Yes,
Greg did an unbelievable job producing the CHGO Cubs podcast.
It's amazing.
And then the news
Emmy Award winning.
70 minutes long on a day they lost.
Yeah, and then
Emmy Award winning.
And in the middle, towards the end of that pod, of course, the Bears news broke, and then me and Kevin basically begged Greg to stay. He's like,
time out. And
now,
see, no, you're not gonna do this. Who was the one saying we need to do a breaking news show? Greg was the one that said it. Greg was the one that said it.
100%. You did.
And while I was producing the Cubs, I was also doing social media on the Hard Knocks with the sweet graphic that Joey made. So get out of here with this nonsense. Do I have a lot going on and do I need to get home? Yes. But am I staying for you fine people so we can get fired up for Hard Knocks? Yes.
Frags is coming through the screen.
Do I have to spend another goddamn hour with this guy? Yes. And am I doing it for you people?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've heard that they have up to 10 camera crews to get like 10 players throughout their days, and I assume that would rotate and to kind of figure out who they want to see and
right, because it's a mixture of some of the headliner players, and then there's a few players that are like on the chopping block, right? That may or may not make the team. So those are some of the names I'm like interested in. I'm like, who are they gonna spotlight?
Tory Taylor.
Tory Taylor definitely is a big spotlight candidate.
He's a candidate. There's Cole Kmet, my guy, 85. You got to be.
They might go to Arlington Heights. They might go to Naperville to do the third rounder. I can't say his name. They might go to.
Hard Knocks. What if Hard Knocks wants
to
come out with Cole Kmet and us while we go golfing with Cole?
I think they do. I think they do.
I
think they do. But listen,
we could have a spin-off sitcom if we parlayed them coming out with us with Cole. Then they see our relationship. We might end up with a spin-off on HBO.
Well, what we're really going to do is
what we need.
I think
that's what we need.
CHG HBO.
well, you do the show. It's called
HBO.
It's called, I believe it's
HBO,
called
CHGO.
Brags After Dark, right? It used to be Bears After Dark, run by Carman, and then they were like, Brags will do this, and I was like, that's a terrible idea, but go ahead. and now I think this is your opportunity.
Hard Knocks post-game shows.
Hard Knocks post-game shows.
Absolutely. The first one will be Tuesday, August 6th.
Tuesday, August
6th.
The Hard Knocks post-game
Hard Knocks throughout the summer. I'm down.
Is it going to be called Hard Brags? What's it going to be called?
It could be.
When this news dropped, I was bricked up.
I'll bet you were. Claws up, bricks up, whatever else is up.
Let me ask you a question, Kevin, as I flip myself into the hosting chair what are you most excited about here?
I'm just excited for the Bears to get that center stage. For so long, like we watched this show, and look, it's great to see the Bengals and the Browns and the Ravens, and those aren't charter franchises. We've never seen the Bears there, and for so long, and for good reason, because the Bears have been so terrible. They've kind of been like on the periphery of the NFL, and for them to be in the middle and the main story and the thing that everybody is watching this summer, to me, is pretty exciting. Now, I'm a little nervous that they won't follow through, and maybe things don't really work out, but
things are going to work out.
We wanted this.
Well, and so especially fans that don't get as much access as we want at training camp, and for those that aren't lucky enough like me to be able to go to as many training camps as I've been able to attend over the last 20 years, and specifically the last couple at Halas Hall where tickets were much more limited. They also have what is the Brags rule, where you're not allowed to film anything at practice, and some fans do break the rule, and every once in a while a video or two will slip through the cracks. You saw the the hype train from the Caleb Williams to Roma Dunze highlight they put out today. And that's how thirsty Bears fans are for that kind of content. Well, with HBO, we'll get to see a lot of that stuff that, every year we're so restricted.
With Liv Schreiber's voice narrating it.
Hell
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'm really interested right now for the people who are watching us, And if you don't own an HBO Max subscription, hit 1 if this will get you to subscribe, or hit 2 if you still won't.
That's where I was just at in my head. Like, well, YouTube TV, I'm going to have to go with the upgrade here. And HBO, you're coming back, buddy. This is, and I would do it if I wasn't a member of the media and doing shows about it. Because
I was going to say, like, is this actually going to be on HBO proper, or is it just going to be on Max, the stupid app that they've decided to lose?
It'll be on HBO. Yeah.
Giddy up.
You have HBO proper?
I have both, yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, like
there's the
channel
television
186
channel,
on my
and then there's the
cable
app.
box.
They still program it linearly?
Yeah, bro. You got to
Okay.
watch, Curb at 9 o'clock, or that's over now.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. You still
House
get
of Dragon.
Cinemax, too? Do you get some
I do
Shannon
not.
Tweed
I do
movies?
not.
Or?
No. Shannon Tweed. That's a nice throwback there.
Let's make predictions. Do you think that Matt Eberflus comes out of this as on a plus, on a minus, or equal, or right standard, right Flus lane as he is right now?
Well, I mean,
do you think the Flus gets an upgrade?
Well, what you talked about earlier, like you need more. What was the word you
I'm
gave?
looking for more substance, from Eberflus.
More of a presence, right? And so we haven't always been. We have been critical at times of some of the things he said at the podium last year after some of the losses, starting with the positives instead of being a little harder, on himself or the team or the other coaches. Well, here we'll get to see the behind the scenes where he's working with the players and see that interaction and have an opportunity to understand, exactly just how great of a coach he is with those guys.
I cannot wait until they do the Flus's Honey. That segment's going to be amazing.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
But they've already been shooting it.
The guy, nobody knows bees like the Flus.
I think he came off pretty well in the again, it was team produced, but I thought he came off pretty well in the 1920 football drive.
He did. He did.
It's
he really,
but he has some goofiness moments, like when he's Caleb comes in and he's pointing to all the pictures of the old Bears and stuff.
I just think that football coaches are offensive and defensive coordinators until they're not, and it's. To me, it still feels like Flus has never broken out as the defensive coordinator who got promoted yet, right? You have to have a winning season and put together a few of those before you kind of become head coach. Does that make sense?
Sure. I mean, he's sort of interim Flus right now. Still, he's
interim. Flus.
He's a little interim-y. But they did just have that video of him when they did the slow walk of the Flus. Remember that one? They just a power Flus walk. So
power Flus.
He's a power Flus.
Well, and the nicknames, right? We're gonna get the moment where he goes around and gives all the nicknames to the players. So we'll have that.
So I want some predictions for breakout stars. By the way, I also want to shout out Sean Ward. He says the Honey Bears need to come back. Let's not get greedy, Sean. We got Hard Knocks. One thing at a time. Also, it is grilling season, so get your pork. Illinois pork producers, people who are active need more protein than the average American. In fact, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, Dietitians of Canada, and the American College of Sports Medicine recommend 1.2 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for athletes, depending on training. So for a 150-pound person, that's about 81 to 136 grams of protein per day. One 3-ounce serving of pork provides 23 grams of high-quality protein that can help active individuals build and preserve muscle. The International Society of Sports Nutrition recommends that people who are involved in a general fitness program or who are interested in optimizing their health eat low-fat, high-quality sources of protein, which include lean cuts of pork. So elevate your protein game this summer with lean pork, a powerhouse of natural goodness. Savor the flavor, savor the gains, and celebrate any occasion by enjoying the best pork produced by Illinois pig farmers. From your sausage and bacon for breakfast to pulled pork or juicy chops hot off that grill, it's an entire season dedicated to pork and the people behind the product. Paid for by the Illinois pork producers, generations of commitment.
Hey, appreciate everybody checking out the CHGO Sports Podcast today. Of course, this feels very CHGO Bearsy. Either way, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to get you back here. CHGO Sports is on 4 o'clock every other week, but the Bear Show is Monday through Friday at noon. And, of course, pre- and post-game after every game, preseason, postseason, whatever. Get in there, get involved. Of course, Bears news like this, we're coming at you as well. Yes. So hit that subscribe button. And thank you to our friends at Lucy Nicotine. Made for your nicotine routine, delivered straight to your door. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. They got pouches, they got breakers, they've got gum, they've got all the different strengths for you. 2 milligrams, suitable for someone who uses nicotine very infrequently. 4 to 8 is more likely to satisfy you if you're an everydayer. 12 milligrams if you're looking for the big time hit. They got all the flavors, mint and apple ice and espresso and mango. And this way, by the way, you're going to save yourself from the weekly gas station stop. You can sign up for a monthly subscription. You're going to save 15. You're going to get 15% off. By the way, there's no commitment. Cancel anytime. This is the good stuff. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/CODE and use the promo code CODE to get 20% off your first order. Lucy's offering free shipping and a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Lucy.co. Use that code CO.
The code is CHGO.
Wow, the hell?
You're supposed to insert that says code.
I'm like, why would it be COD? Why would we not write that in? How hard is that to do?
Well, if you did your pre-show homework instead of taking a nap and eating tomato soup at Crossroads
I mean,
Tavern.
all right, I got to read it again. I'm like, this.
The code is CHGO.
Of course it is. But
It's on the screen.
Thank you.
You're just saying that. I was like,
And you were looking, I was like, this is wrong, isn't it? Okay.
all right.
Let me
Moving right on.
Moving right along. Lucy.co/CHGO. Use the promo code CHGO. 20% off your first order. Lucy.co. My apologies.
HBO just put out their tweet for it, and they made the bean of football.
Nice.
This is awesome.
I think they should just do that permanently.
Yeah.
Good old mirror football.
Are we officially not losers and now borderline gonna be
Hollywood stars, baby.
Hold on.
Well,
are
I
you
mean, look
talking,
at the
Are
Lions.
you talking about you personally or Chicago, the Bears?
I'm talking about the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
I'm talking about Big Cram. I'm talking about Alex Amerling. I'm talking about Kevin. But
Chicago
I'm talking
Bears fans.
mainly. I'm talking about Caleb and Flus and Rome and DJ.
Well, I mean, look at the Lions. The Lions were losers for, my entire life. And then 2 years ago, they put them on Hard Knocks before they really took their next step. And, people, always want to say it's going to be a distraction. And obviously there's that risk. I mean, Cole Kmet was even on our show saying he'd prefer not to have it. I mean, players, I think, mostly would prefer not to have it. But at the end of the day, it didn't hurt the Lions. They still were a breakout team. And that was their moment where the NFL recognized that they were on the cusp of breaking through. And I think that's where the Bears are at now, obviously.
Look. Let me lean into what Kevin just said. As I was having my grilled cheese
Your homework?
and having my grilled cheese and tomato soup and the food coma was hitting me and the day was getting long. Now, if I had that same grilled cheese and that tomato soup and there were cameras everywhere of Hard Knocks, I don't think I go into my coma. I think I step up my game. I think the cameras actually help the Bears. I think
I see that. That's a good
I
theory.
think when you're being watched, those of us, I think literally everyone who's watching this show right now who probably should be doing work and not watching us, it's like you got to step up your game. People need accountability in life. This is like an extra layer of accountability.
Everybody's going to be on their toes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
So, Carm, you're out there at Halas Hall. You regularly report on the team. Who is someone under the radar who you think might be a breakout star?
Well, so Tevin got mentioned in the chat, and that's one dude who absolutely could be interesting and might say some things that off the cuff and honestly that all of a sudden people outside of, the niche Bear fans might start to get to know Tevin Jenkins a little bit.
I think
DJ's got a chance at it, but he's a little quiet.
But I think in terms of under the radar, like those guys are starters. So are they? Those are underrated nationally. But if we're talking about a guy they might spotlight that's a cut candidate, the guy we talked to a couple weeks ago, I think Ian Wheeler has a fascinating background. Coming out of Howard University. He's got the psychology degree background, where he's working with different things. And, I think he does have an opportunity to be a fringe roster spot, with the kickoff return rule changing and, having a chance to squeeze into that running back room. It is tight. Who knows whether or not Khalil Herbert's going to be here or not? But I think Ian Wheeler might be an interesting candidate.
Is Gary right or is Bragg's right? Because Gary's saying Isaiah Wheeler.
It would be Ian Wheeler.
Gary.
Bragg's right. But here, listen.
This is Gary's day. Gary's never wrong. It's a typo.
Let's remember something here. Nobody knows the Bears. Jalen Johnson has a chance to be a breakout guy. Sure, we know Jalen.
Oh, well, then the answer is Kyler Gordon. If we're not going to talk about cut candidate types, it's going to be Kyler Gordon doing, because he's one of the loudest guys on the practice field.
Call.
And he's the Spider-Man guy.
Hold on.
And HBO has Spider-Man.
Maybe that just entire secondary with Brittany Brisker
100%.
and Jalen Johnson. Tyreek.
Yeah, the whole secondary for sure. But I think with Kyler Gordon and the whole Spider-Man thing, Cole Kmet told a story last year on our air where he said Kyler would wear the mask on the bus, like traveling from the team hotel to the stadium. Like he wasn't just doing it as a bit walking in. Like he's wearing it everywhere. So I think that personality is going to shine through 100%.
Interesting one from the book of Ezra. Maybe this push a conclusion to that stadium conundrum. I don't know about all that, but I do wonder how much they'll lean into it, because that is something that is going on. And like Kevin Warren seeks out the camera. Like, will there be, how much Kevin Warren we get here could be interesting. It might be none. It could
Hopefully not a lot.
Well, right. It could be zero, but it also there could be a whole story that they might lean into. That's interesting.
Who do you think might shrink away from the cameras? If someone actually said Sandboard, we're going to get a lot of Sand God. I don't think Sandboard's going to be looking for it.
And this is the thing.
I don't think Dexter. We had Dexter on the show. I thought he was great dude.
Yep.
Took him a little while to warm up.
Yep.
So I don't know if I don't think he necessarily maybe wants to see that.
The other one I'm interested about, honestly, go ahead.
Zach Pickens has a bubbly personality.
Honestly,
go ahead.
The other one that I'm thinking about is how much actual interview time Caleb Williams gets, because he's going to be spotlighted as the star of the team, the franchise quarterback, but how much will he do the interview stuff? You know what I mean? I think he's already going to have enough, airtime just with how much they cover him, that I don't know if he's going to be are they going to
be at home with him? You mean?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know. He's already put on his Instagram account. Here I am at Target. Here I am at the Top Golf in Schaumburg. So maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. And let's be real here. They are going to lean super hard into Caleb. We are gonna.
Well, Caleb. I think Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Roma
with the
Dunze.
Jets last year. We thought it would just be Aaron Rodgers the entire time, and it wasn't. Aaron Rodgers, they followed with the cameras a lot, but it wasn't like Aaron Rodgers was doing interviews every show, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but you're probably right. But also, Caleb's a rookie. People don't know him as well as they know Aaron. He's not overexposed
Kay Johnson
over
in the
top.
chat saying Tua wasn't highlighted a lot for the Dolphins as well. So that's what I mean. We might not get as much Caleb content as we're thinking off the field. They might highlight other guys, because I honestly feel like Caleb has been intentional so far since he started with the Bears, letting other players get shine. When they went to Wrigley, he didn't throw out the first pitch or sing the seventh inning stretch. He just hung out with the team. Then he goes to Comiskey, and Roma Dunze throws out the first pitch, not Caleb Williams.
In slides, by the way, which I thought was interesting.
So, I feel like some of that has been intentional.
I wonder what concessions the Bears negotiated into this, and one of it is I wonder if the cut room talks are now a thing of the past now that the Jets didn't participate in that, and I wonder if the Bears said, "Look, we're going to be on the show, but you get one sit down with Caleb, or only 10 minutes of the show out of however much can be about Caleb."
It's also
I think that's possible.
It's an interesting time too, as far as who's negotiating that stuff, because the Bears moved on from Brandon Faber, who was at the top of the food chain. They just brought in Ted Cruz over from Kansas City. Kansas City is notoriously very tight with allowing any extra to media, at least in the market. How will they act with Hard Knocks? It's different, and how will it come down from above Ted from uppers as to what the Bears are going to do.
Well, and this definitely signifies the impact that Kevin Warren has on the franchise, starting to look outside the box of what they've normally been. Obviously he's going through the mud trying to figure out this stadium thing with this state, and it's not easy, the city and the state. But we all know he's not shy about the camera or the publicity or the media. And so this is definitely Kevin Warren's fingerprints all over this, pushing George McCaskey across the finish line to finally put the Bears on Hard Knocks.
You would think. Do you buy that? That this is.
I think it's probably a mixture of that and probably they just kind of ran out of
time
cards to play.
Yeah.
And look, I'm really glad right now that they didn't pick the Bears last year. And we were sad when they didn't pick them. But one, that would have been, we would have wasted on, the last year of Justin Fields.
Oh, man,
they would have Then you throw in some of the staffing problems they had. Like,
yeah.
It would have been great. That would have been such good entertainment. You kidding?
I mean, that didn't happen until after training camp and into the season.
They could have seen Chase Claypool's dominance the first 10 days of camp. And I would have been called a liar for my coverage.
Literally, you would have been on the show because there's one person in town who thinks that Chase Claypool is dominating. And
nobody here thinks Chase Claypool can play, except for one man.
But everybody else in the locker room can't stand it. But there is one man on this thing called the CHGO Bears podcast who thinks that Claypool is a good player.
I feel like they never, I feel like they never do media. They never get into media stuff, right?
Oh,
they never like. When the Blackhawks do their YouTube series, like our CHO Blackhawks guys are featured on it. Like they'll use clips or whatever. I don't think they ever use like clips from sports radio or am I wrong?
Well, I think you're right, but I think in this
see
case,
one suggestion that is that really Nick or is that a fake Nick?
Oh,
that's really Nick.
That's Nick.
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to ask about that because I got to tell you,
it is 100% him.
That picture
he just updated
ridiculous.
this profile picture here recently.
So he was saying everybody when they go out to camp should be wearing CHGO gear, so we're making sure.
100%, 100%.
Not only us but fans as well.
I'm going to wear my Cram shirt. I'm excited.
I mean, look at that guy. Wow.
He's very
beautiful.
good looking. It's intimidating for all of us. Where were we going?
I don't know.
There was something about Nick. No, that's him.
The other thing too, and I've said
like him.
That's him, and he's going to look great on Hard Knocks.
The one thing too, and I know George is, doing this, they had to twist his arm to do this, and I'm sure he's not 100% thrilled for it. But, and I've said this for a few years now, this is your opportunity to highlight Virginia McCaskey and what she's meant to this organization. Honestly, I mean, they revere her up there. And so
so many stories. We got that. We got McMichael.
Yep.
That was my question. I was actually going to bring that up. Like, do you think they'll have Steve McMichael on the show?
Yes, 100%. They're going to do that. They better. How could they not?
Yep.
Got to.
That's super intense.
Journalistically, it would be correct, but an NFL show showing what the NFL can do to a person.
Someone brought up how they'll probably follow Hester to the Hall of Fame induction. So wouldn't that tie into that episode?
Sure.
I think so.
I would like to follow Devin Hester to the Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah, you would.
Sure you
Let's
will.
Go.
Our guy Patrick Norton says, can you show me that one? Pretty funny that McCaskey is so against Hard Knocks and was the lone vote at the owners' meeting last year against international slate expansion. Now the Bears have both.
Take that, George. Maybe they'll film him coming in his Honda Accord that's got 100,000 plus miles where he parks. Did
he buy that from you?
In the media lot? No. But we did bond when I showed up last year at training camp in my now sold Honda Accord because, of course, I'm a Chevy Trax guy. But
shout out to Ray.
Shout out to Ray.
Yeah.
But we did bond last year. That's my biggest hope. I want anything and everything uncovered. I want to see what this organization is like where they don't want you to know. I want to know the reason why they didn't want this thing shown.
I think you're wrong in it, like thinking that Hard Knocks shows like something that has regularly embarrassed people or uncovered things that weren't supposed to see.
I think the only way that would have happened
Give me one thing. I just have a one.
So the thing that I think that in that regard, they've upgraded the facilities at Halas Hall. So maybe if they had done this 5 years ago, where the facilities compared to other, teams was so behind the times, on social media, they could get made fun of for look at how crappy their locker room is. Look how crappy their workout center is and all that stuff. But now, the last regime, they turned this into a state-of-the-art facility in a lot of ways.
It's a great facility.
So now they're going to be able to put that on full display as well.
So Kevin, your take is that basically the Bears are going to come out with this smelling like roses, more exposure.
I mean, the Bengals have been on it multiple times, and at no point did I ever watch the Bengals, who are notoriously kind of one of the crappier franchises from a organizational run standpoint, and you never thought, the ownership is terrible or whatever. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, I'm living.
I've
I'm living in fantasy land. Fair enough.
After we give a shout out to our sponsors, I've got another name of somebody I think that's going to shine through.
Okay. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. Hundreds of options to choose from, so you are always bound to find the perfect pair to match your style right there on shadyrays.com. They probably even have a style in your favorite team's colors. We know they have Bears colors on there, so go check that out. I wear Shady Rays all the time, most of the time when driving.
Shady Rays right here.
I also wear them while running.
Ooh, look at that.
Always polarized.
Damn, good looking guy.
Sets me up. Plus, the thing that I like is if my shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, I don't sweat it because they have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you do not love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There is no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. Now, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Stock up. Head to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 35% off all Polaroid sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And between work, social media, and the choices life throws our way, it is no wonder we are more worked up. Coors Light is celebrating rising above and choosing a chill mindset. Why not turn a rained-out barbecue into a karaoke house party, or, after a tough loss like the Cubs have every single day right now, settle the scores with an ice-cold peace offering. Make the choice to choose chill and reach for Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment, delicious, fantastic. I love it. Make the most of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/. Look at this CHGO hockey. That's beautiful. Great. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Let's celebrate the Bears on Hard Knocks, Kevin.
You brought up the Cubs, and I'm glad that we're able to actually talk about this breaking news because we were going to sit here and talk about that road trip from hell, which I was not looking forward to.
It's not as bad as being at home and losing 7 straight, but that's a whole other shit show.
Sox can't win at home. Cubs can't win on the road.
But you can come out.
The Sox can't win on the road either. But
Cubs and Sox fans, Crosstown Takeover coming up on June 2nd on Tuesday. You can come out with us. I'll be there. Carm's going to be there. We're starting at Murphy's Bleachers.
I'm going to be there too.
5 p.m. Kevin's going to be there, so we can talk
have a
about
special
Hard
guest,
Knocks.
too.
Caleb Williams is going to be there with us. June 4th, Tuesday. June 4th on Tuesday. I said June 2nd. So
my good friend Polish Joe will be there.
Polish Joe?
Yeah.
Polish Joe.
Which is always a show.
Caleb Williams, Polish Joe.
Right. We can
and
go out.
And Andy Behrens from Yahoo Sports. You want to talk a little fantasy baseball?
We can curse out our baseball teams and then chant "Let's go Bears" while we talk Hard Knocks. So yeah, the name I was going to bring up that I think will shine through in this series this summer, Richard Hightower, I think is another name that I think, when they're highlighting the coaches getting on the players, and the coach talk stuff, I think Richard Hightower, who's, he's been in different things that are setting him up to get on a pathway to become a head coach one day. Like they had him at the Shrine Bowl as a head coach
I think that's right.
Was it the Shrine Bowl? And so he's done a few different seminars that set up, assistant coaches on the pathway to become a head coach. He, I think, does embody kind of what a head coach will eventually become. I know he's coming from special teams, which isn't always the easiest route. But I think just his personality is going to shine.
I'll tell you this right now. I will set the Circus Sports official line at -400 for Tony Medlin getting his own segment. Because, there's absolutely, he's the equipment manager, has been there forever. Everyone loves him. Tony Medlin's going to be on there. Mark that one down.
Here's special teams, and then
he's
he comes
immediately
a
in the
call
chat. Immediately
into
in
the
the
chat. It's like the bat phone goes off. The bat signal. Adam takes his glasses off
No disrespect to Richard Hightower.
Are you about to disrespect his?
No.
Richard Hightower?
He's a great man. I think he's a class individual. I'm a big fan of Richard Hightower, but I don't think he's like the most interesting.
But
dude
they
of
might
all
put him
time.
They
on.
always spotlight the assistant coaches in some.
Well,
way.
I mean, apart from what Bragg's kind of highlighted with the special teams changes and the kickoff changes,
That's true.
probably a pretty good storyline.
Yeah, no, there's meat on that bone, no
Right.
doubt.
How
No
he's
doubt.
working with Torrey Taylor, how he's adjusting to the new kickoff rule, his personality. He's got, you just said with Matt Eberflus, you want that presence.
I do.
He has presence.
He does.
You know?
All right, fine. Hightower, full episode. Hightower. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hightower.
He's got substance.
Yes.
He's got presence.
It's gonna be a spin-off show, Hightower.
Hightower. New kickoff. Bears. Hard Knocks. Hogue. Hester, the greatest returner in the history of the game. Remember Dale Sayers, the whole thing. Everything about football started with the Bears, and it's underlined by our special teams history as well.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised. I said no media, but obviously Jared Payton is just no regular media member. I bet Jared Payton gets a good run on there because they're going to want to tie into the past.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
So.
I think so. Yeah, and I mean,
with the
Hall
Walter
of Fame
Payton
game, like, there's
Hall
a
of
lot
Fame game,
reasons.
Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
We'll definitely see Jared Payton.
Mark Potash get his own segment.
I
I'm all for it.
Potash deserves a segment.
Potash deserves a segment.
I mean, listen, I think that Bears, they should go into the Bears media room and key in on Potash and Biggs and Wiederer
And Carm.
and Fishbane and Carm and Hogue and Schrock and Nick.
Finley.
And Finley.
And Emma.
And Courtney.
Crone Zone.
Yes. Dion.
Yes.
Cassie.
Bring Peggy back.
Yes.
Courtney Cronin dominates every press conference.
So,
while the
I
rest
think
of the Bears
another
media
side of this,
is
though,
tail
like-
pants.
Until the joint practice when suddenly there's a voice from the back and everyone is forced to listen. Who would that be?
We've talked about like the Bears should be on this to kind of expand their brand because they are kind of an older brand within the NFL and obviously have not been very good. I wonder if this does attract a new generation of fans. Like we do we do these tailgates and we'll have people show up from Australia, Europe, wherever. And it's like, how did you become a Bears fan? And almost invariably, I mean, they'll be like someone my age and they'll be like, oh, well, in 1985, I learned about, the Super Bowl 20 champion Chicago Bears from Armed Forces Radio, and that was it. So I kind of wonder if this is like will this kind of spur the next generation of Bears fans who maybe didn't necessarily grow up in Chicago, or are fans elsewhere or internationally, and kind of widen that circle even bigger. I'm excited for my girls to watch it. My girls are, 8 and 9 years old. They're not going to sit through an entire football game, but they already like Caleb Williams. They watch like the social media clips of him,
like
whatever.
a reality TV show.
Yeah, they watched the first couple episodes of Last Dance and loved it. So
I was going to say that's where you can get the casual fan in. You don't
Right.
have to watch the game. You don't need to know. You don't have to understand the football rules, let alone the new kickoff rules.
Right.
And you bring them in. You made me think of the Last Dance. Like there was just.
When the Last Dance aired, like every Sunday was like this event. It almost felt like a Bulls playoff game. And
I mean, also it was the pandemic.
Also the
we
pandemic.
were stuck in our house.
Are we
Right.
gonna
only
get a
thing on. There was
scene
no
where
sport.
We've been going through a Bears pandemic
Yeah,
think
for
I might-
38 years.
for 38 years. We're coming out of it. Mm-hmm. We're going to be hungry for this content.
get a scene where Keenan Allen is singing, right? Because he was
Yeah.
on The Voice? Was he
Masked
on
Singer.
The Masked Singer, which is one of the weirdest concepts. He went up dressed
Yeah.
as like a dragon or something, and has a beautiful voice. So will we get a Keenan Allen singing segment?
Well, someone in the chat was talking about all the rookies doing their songs. right?
Exactly.
Is that a segment? What is Caleb's going to be? Et
Roma
cetera, et cetera.
Dunze singing. What song will Roma Dunze sing?
Secret agent, man.
could be that. I think
How many pizza-related storylines will there be?
By the way, I'm shocked I'm the first person that said the name Bajent on this podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I
He was
mean,
talking about him enough.
they'll be leaning in. There's no doubt about it. You made me just think as I'm doing a deep personal dive right now. I think The Last Dance was at least 2% of the reason why I ended up getting divorced, because I just
Expound.
You can't talk to me when The Last Dance is on. That's how serious it was. There is no conversation for this hour. No speaking. You don't understand what this is. I am here. I am in 1984.
Remember, that was in the heart of COVID. We were
Yeah.
completely shut down.
Yeah.
So it's just
These
you,
were tough times. Like, this was the moment where
you in The Last Dance.
Yeah.
Everybody else get out of
But
my way.
honestly, though, Carmen, you're so right, because your wife at the time, she had the other 23 hours of that day, plus all 24/7 the rest of the
Right.
goddamn week.
Right. If
We
you-
were stuck. There was nothing to do.
Right.
If you don't
Give me
understand-
this hour, for
You-
God's sakes.
We're
done here.
We need to understand that there's no talking right now. And if we can't understand that, we're going to have a major
Ooh,
problem.
London Brent in the chat, his suggestion for our Hard Knocks post game shows, call it instead of After Dark, After Knocks.
There you go.
Kevin.
Carm doesn't get it. But I agree.
Kidding. All right, content denied.
Let's leave it to that of content, Brent.
I liked After Knocks. I'll call it
I
that.
liked it too. It's 2-2. We just
2-2.
we need-
London, I liked it with
We
you.
need
all
Nick
right?
or Hogue to jump in.
I don't have a dirty mind like that, London. So it's just.
Why is that dirty?
not-
What is
We're
dirty
not
about
knocking
that?
boots. It's
What-
hard knocks, you morons.
What
Come
is
on.
dirty about
Well, then
After
if it's not
Knocks?
dirty, then what's funny about it?
There's nothing funny. It's. Oh my
The
god.
Giggity says, coming
What
from
is
another
dirty?
guy who broke up with his ex after 4.5 years because of COVID and The Last Dance, Karma's 100%.
Why did everybody get a divorce because of The Last Dance? What
Matthew
is
Gregory says, hard knockers with Brent.
that? Now that is dirty. Oh my goodness.
Who knew, other than Gary Ross, that this win was coming for everybody? We're having so much fun already.
We're going to have, I mean, that's going to be fun doing I'll just call it right now. We're doing post-show episodes.
100%.
There's just no
100%.
It's called Brags After Knocks. I don't know. Yeah, we already decided that.
BAN, you are banned.
K.
BAK, you are back with Brad.
Should we do?
That's
Should we actually do
terrible.
a CHGO hard knock? Try to
PAN.
produce some we'll get Carm waking up in the morning.
I mean, that's what Bear on Omaha's two
Yeah,
bucks.
that's what I'm saying.
We need a CHGO Hard Knocks now.
Well, so my wife and I, we watch reality TV shows.
There's a surprise.
We're below deck. Yeah. What's that? You taking a shot at my wife and I's
You
garbage TV viewing?
You are the one that picks this. It's got nothing to do with Jenny.
No, my wife got me into. She watched, before I started watching it with her, like Below Deck and Vanderpump Rules and
Okay.
stuff. I'd be lying. Now I'm into it with her. We watch it together.
Okay.
She watches sports with me. This is what I watch with her. But I'm not gonna act like I don't enjoy watching it. Not just with, obviously with her. I don't know if I'd watch it without her. But regardless, we do get into it from a reality TV standpoint. So like,
What's your
CHGO
favorite one? What's your favorite reality show of all time?
We're big with Vanderpump Rules. We are.
Okay. That's like your favorite.
Well,
Ever?
of all time,
Yeah.
I mean, that's I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd.
I think Lawrence is a Survivor guy, right?
Yeah. I'm still watching Survivor, which
Below,
is shocking.
Below Deck used to be, and now it's like they have like 6 different versions, and they're just so watered down. Anyway,
Yeah.
to get back to my point, I was actually talking to Jenny because they did a Vanderpump Rules reunion. They did 3 parts. We were watching it, and they were like going through the grind of, some of the behind the scenes arguments they've had and stuff, and breaking down that fourth wall. And I was telling Jenny, I was like, honestly, with the amount of drama with Chicago Bears media, and even just with me, Carm, Hogue, and Nick, and Lawrence, and Steven, and Kevin, and Jake, like The Office, and the rest of the Chicago Bears media, and all the little, infighting and competition. Like, I do think I think Bears fans would enjoy a reality TV show centered around the Chicago Bears media and all their little high school tiffs. They would. 100%.
Great, let's do it. I'm in 100%.
Let's lay all our cards on the table.
Yeah, no, I got no. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of meat on this bone right here.
I know. You're an onion.
I mean,
there's a lot of layers.
The camera's rolling if you want to start episode
No, it just
1 right
happened.
now.
He got all offended that I was calling out his reality TV thing because, like, Lord knows he wasn't going to say, my wife and I were watching 60 Minutes the other day. That wasn't coming.
Well, that's not a reality.
If we did it like
not a
at the
reality
CHGO Hard Knocks, it would like 50% of it would just be people looking for a parking spot.
Herb Howard, I hate Hogue. There we go. It's
Exactly.
It's right into it.
Like the Herb Howard versus Hogue feud, where he was like kicked off our show because he, disagreed on one show, and then everybody was like, "Oh, you guys didn't let him back on." That would be an episode.
It was real beef. It was
beef.
It was just massive beef. They've never spoken since, Hogue and Howard, and nobody's uncovered that. Where are the Hard Knocks Part 2 media cameras?
We already missed the probably would have been the most iconic shot from the opening episode, which would have been Jake Flanagan taking down the Justin Fields fathead from his office.
Yes. Oh.
It's like at the start.
That would have been
was
perfect.
that not filmed?
Like at the start of
You
Money.
didn't want to. It was like too emotional for him.
It's like the start of Moneyball
Who
when
cares
they're
what he
taking
wants?
down.
That's something you should have done.
It's like at the start of Moneyball when they're taking down the banners from Johnny Damon and replacing it with the new player.
Well, they could have started with Herb's tweet that nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. There's something along those lines, whatever he said about Justin getting traded, and then they could cut right to Flanagan taking down the fathead. then they could cut to Caleb, and then they could cut to draft night when everybody went nuts because they were so damn ass happy that Justin Fields was in Pittsburgh and Caleb Williams was here. Show.
that would be fun.
I like Elliot Miller's comment said, need to see background of how Carm picks the perfect long sleeve graphic tee combo.
That's what I mean. With Carm, there's many layers that you need to learn about him.
See, I don't know.
I'm more of an open book, so I don't know how much more you would learn from me.
Oh no, there's layers.
There's more?
Oh my
I
god.
mean, there's a cul-de-sac.
There's a cul-de-sac and a pool.
You on the road is one of the more frightening experiences of my life.
Him just trying to get through the
I
airport.
think we just need Jenny in her own interview, just opening up.
She just
say
starts
what she really
crying.
thinks.
It's been really hard.
Bear Down Omaha wants to see the Braggs Finley training camp fight.
Can we do those super chats, Lo?
We do have super chats.
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk about them.
Shout out to Alex, $5. Glad I have Max. Bear down. Absolutely glad I have Max. Finally get some of my money's worth. Did watch that Von Erich movie, which was pretty good.
Very depressing.
Very depressing.
That was,
hopefully not as hopefully the Hard Knocks will not be as depressing as that.
I hope so. Jeez.
Big Cram, Super Chat 1999 says, "This is great. Spotlight on our team. Spotlight on our city. The NFL and the Bears can, in a way, give Virginia her flowers while she's alive. So spotlight on her. And also, Lawrence, you'll always be our favorite behind the cam." Shout out Law.
Okay. Thank you.
Can we sue Big Cram for that avatar? Is there a way to get
I mean, between that and the new
We
Nick
both could
one,
technically sue him because it's both of us.
Yeah. It's
there's got to be something illegal about that right
But
there.
I agree. I know it's like the sentiment, like nobody wants to get, like you were giving me the look about getting sentimental for Virginia McCaskey, but it is like give her flowers on, she's only got so many years left on this earth.
I'd be surprised if she was actually on the show. She's pretty old.
Carm's on our show every day.
When's the last time you saw her on local media? I mean,
Hey. Well, based on that, then we should get Staley. There should be a 2-part episode on Staley because
Gary's saying she might
Why
have a
doesn't
cameo.
he
I don't know
have
if that's the
pants?
official report.
wait, what?
Gary says she might have a cameo. I don't know.
Well, we're not.
Gary now knows
Gary
cameos. He knows who else is going to get a cameo. Gary, can I get a cameo? Crystal.
Bearman is my guy Don.
goodness.
Don Wachter, yeah.
Don, get a
Do they
get a
have
cameo.
time for that? Oh, come on.
He's been going to every game since 1983.
Him and honestly, his guy Paul Zawicki. Talk about giving a guy his flowers. Give Paul
His guy, your guy.
Zawicki and
Well, Don is Paul
Again,
is Don's guy first and
if
foremost,
they're-
but he's all of our guys.
If they're doing the Hall of Fame game, that's an easy little 30-second tie-in that you could do
Yep.
in Canton.
Yep. We should be in these production meetings with
I mean-
HBO.
Well, I just want you in the show. That's all I want.
I will get in the show. Don't you worry.
$9.99 from Crystal. Let's
Da-na-na.
go. I'm ready for this. Hey, Law and Kevin. There you go.
What up,
I
Chris?
was when
say hi to
Windy,
us.
Windy City dropped that mashup last week of the edit with the HBO Hard Knocks music. I was singing that music for like the next 3 days. Now I'm going to be singing it all summer.
There we go.
All together. Da, da, na, na. Da, da, na, na.
Are you going to tell everybody to come to London with us?
Oh, hold on. You got to read Big Cram's.
We should.
$1.99. My bad, Law. I was editing a new Abby. Big Cram, we're kidding. Of course, you want to stick with that nauseating Abby that makes me want to throw up. You go right ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
You're my guy.
But yeah, you should tell everyone to go to London.
Yes, we are. For those of you that, if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. We do live shows every day, sometimes 6 times a week with our Bears After Dark shows. We do pre and post game shows,
Emergency pods.
emergency podcasts, and a moment's notice. Don't. And then we're also going on some trips here this year. We're going to London.
My brother's looking for a roommate. If anybody wants to hit me up on, he would like a roommate. If you like to stay with Dave Carman, great
Why
opportunity to
don't
pair
you
up.
room with him?
Because I have my own room.
Okay. Carm doesn't want a room with his
Seems
brother, but
seems
you.
like a good endorsement for your brother to find a roommate.
He's a great
His
guy.
own brother won't stay with him.
So
Little quirky, but you'll love him.
I'm sure it's the other way around.
like
He doesn't
you.
want a room with you is probably the catch. Now, if you come out to London, go to truefantravel.com. Our guys are hitting us up, helping us out. We're going to be having a great trip, having a lot of fun, doing a boat cruise, a private boat cruise if you sign up. Ticket is included with the package, so look at some of the different options. If you go to truefantravel.com, search CHGO Bears, you'll find all the information there. Obviously not everybody's going to be able to come, but if you do come, you will not regret it. It's going to be, we've got a lot of fun stuff planned, live events, live shows.
Braggs is going to be getting drunk every single night. until 5.
International incidents with Greg Braggs Jr.
International incidents
Mark Carman.
is the best way to put it. And then we're doing a boat cruise on the River Thames.
You said that right.
River Thames.
I did it wrong. I did it wrong last time.
And then obviously going to the Bears
River Marcus
Jaguars,
Thames.
the Bears Jaguars, the Jaguars
We're gonna
game
play the
at
Jets.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Losers. Just fucking losers.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of cool stuff planned, so make sure you check it out.
$4.99 from Crystal. Hey, Braggs and Carm. You seriously are the greatest. You
Seriously,
really
the best.
The
I
freaking
like
best.
that she put Braggs first before you. Thank you, Crystal.
Alphabetical, maybe.
Could be.
You're- You're the type of guy that notices that. I don't notice that.
I did notice that. I am the type of guy.
I just noticed and appreciate what Crystal is willing to do for this show and the support
But you're
that
a
she
me
gives
first
back.
guy. I thought you would.
Well, I am, but not when it comes to to brilliant people like Crystal.
It's exciting. This is exciting
excited.
news. This has been a great off season.
You got to go and mow the lawn.
I got to
and-
mow the
Got
lawn. I don't
signs
know
to
if I'm
make.
gonna-
I gotta be honest.
got signs to make.
If you win the off season, what does that say about your actual season though? Like you don't really want to just win the off season. That's sort
Yeah,
of
but like the Bears win every offseason. Bears fans always, yes, we dilute ourselves into believing we're going to win 12 games.
No,
Delude.
no,
Not dilute. Delude.
Well, hold on. Wait. Wait, but seriously, like from a national, like an NFL perspective, the Bears don't win the offseason. That's not. Yes, in your crazy brain, they do.
Yeah.
Don't quibble with him on the way he sees life. It's not. You don't.
All right.
You don't win.
Remember when we talked
Dilute
ourselves
yourself.
into
Yeah.
who were some of the better off signings 2 years ago when we first started? We talked ourselves into some dudes.
Oh, yeah.
but I
The
know, but,
wide
like,
receiver, N'Keal Harry. He was a
N'Keal
former
Harry.
first-round pick. He just needs a change of scenery.
Yeah.
Byron Pringle
Byron
Oh,
Pringle.
goodness, Byron
He's got a
Pringle.
little scoot to
doing
him.
donuts.
Yeah.
Doing donuts.
Yeah.
Byron Pringle. I did have the fever for the flavor of Pringle.
Who
for
was
5
the defensive
seconds.
end who didn't do anything? Mohammed. That was last name?
Nazi Muhammad, the former
No. With an A.
with an A.
Who are you
First
talking
name
about?
A.
Who?
From the guy from the Colts. Muhammad.
Yeah.
Oh, Al-Qadim Muhammad,
Al-Qadim
one of the
Muhammad.
worst players.
AQM.
He was literally signed so the Bears
and
would
then
lose
last
games.
year I lost my mind, for our passer.
Chase Claypool.
No.
I just remember Will DeWitt actually like citing Al-Qadim Muhammad as one of the reasons they were going to win like 12 games. Got a little crazy there.
Yeah,
Well, in the
we
la-
get excited. That's what we do as Bears fans. We're
Well-
diehards.
well, when they signed-
fan is short for fanatic. One step short of fanatic is crazy. I'm a complete lunatic.
Dilute yourself.
I am not gonna dilute myself this entire off season. Heading into training camp, gonna lose my mind every step of the way. And for every after Knox show, we're gonna add a win to the total.
What did you say on the Bears pod today? That moronic statement that you tried to sound intelligent with. What was it?
I said nitrous oxide.
Nitrous oxide.
Which is something they use to boost race car engines. So shut up.
Okay. Nitrous oxide. His what?
Metastasize?
His dilution. You nitrous oxide.
Steve Griffith
dilution.
over under. Greg gets arrested in London.
So the last time they were in London, this is a true story. The last
number
time
of times over under?
Yeah, the last time they were in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Stop saying that awful club.
I'm sorry,
name.
they
suck.
so they
Losers.
they lose to the Raiders. I was there for 3 days, and I quit smoking weed 3 years ago. But 3 years
Hey! It's Sunnyside Summer Thursdays. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's just, hey, hit up Sunnyside. I encourage you to go, but me personally, I had to stop because I had been smoking a ton of weed for like 20 years, and I just had to call it. But this is a true story. Let me get through my story, Carm, without your stupid face.
Stop diluting his story.
So, in regards to almost getting arrested. So, I'm outside the stadium after the Bears lose, and I hadn't smoked a joint in like 3 days. I was dying. Just needed one. And I'm like, somebody got some weed. I like yelled it out. We're standing on the street.
Do they have weed in London?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody's smoking weed. So this guy is like, I got some. And I was
I've never
like,
been to London.
I was like, sell me some weed then. He's like, all right, come on. He's like, there's a cop over here.
Come over here, governor.
Come over here. I'm like,
Was it a cop or a Bobby?
No, it was just, I don't know. So we start walking, and he's like, I'm like, all right, sell me the joint. Let's go. And he's like, come down here to go like down this alley. I'm like, I'm not going down this fucking alley with you. Because I was surely going to get robbed or stabbed or something.
Could have been like
the
the start of a Harry Potter type adventure. We would have walked down the alley. There would have been a little door. You would have gotten in, and we would have never heard from you again.
I was too scared to.
Any other stories where nothing happened?
Jordan M says, "Are we going to get a scene where Caleb Williams eats an Italian beef? If there is a God and his name is Ditka, yes."
Hopefully he comes to Johnny's and not that shit on Taylor Street.
You want? Can I follow up that story? When I followed a guy into an alley and gave him and followed him actually all the way to like the hospital by the Chicago Stadium back in the day, and took out money out of the Chase Bank machine and gave him $200, and then he disappeared down. He disappeared down an alley, and I never saw him again. And he was like borderline a friend of mine, like as far as like scalpers were concerned. Like I knew the guy. That's a story. I said, "Who's got weed?" Somebody said yes and said, "Follow me," and then I didn't. Eventually, brags.
See, this is if we did a CHGO Hard Knocks, these are the things that you would say.
That was like a 1989 $200.
Yes,
too.
yes, yeah. It was a blow. And it was like I had like a friend of mine from college. I was like showing around and the whole thing. Anyway, $4.99 from CHGO Crip. Sorry, we're not going to the game. I just spent $200 and he's like gone to Portland. This guy, Gregory P. Allen Braggs. I just paid you $4.99 to give me a Woot style noogie on my Silver Dome. No. Bears, hot nuts, noogies, Bears.
I can't see. I'd love to, get physical with this guy, but I have enough HR complaints with Carm. So if I start getting physical with him, then that might be the
not only with Carm, but yeah.
No, the thing is that you can't control yourself, and if you did start getting physical with me, we could end up in an OJ
We're gonna
situation.
Be pals. We're gonna be amigos.
Okay. One more from $9.99 from Big Graham. For as much as people complain about Carm, the man does have a lot of parody accounts.
Look how close they are to each other on the camera.
Well, he
and
does
how far
this. So Kevin, this is what he does. He's like Joe Kim Noah. He completely boxes me out, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Kevin, what do you think about Hard Knocks?"
Okay. From the second you sat down, your voice has been heard in Botswana. No one's boxing you out. It's the loudest excitement of all.
Also, he started off this hour by complaining about how much he had to do, and then he was only going to stay 10 minutes.
I gotta make signs.
I'm like, he's like, I don't want to stay. I really got a lot going on.
I do gotta make signs.
I'm like, what do you have going on?
We're gonna. Yes, you think we don't? We've got to make a sign that says Skyline Chili sucks. We have to do this.
Not funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
Moderately funny at best. You don't need to make that sign.
All right, well,
And
Mr.
who needs that sign?
the 120 Club needs it.
No, they're good with the signs, Lawrence. There's really good signs. I mean, they nail it with the signs.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But it was still funny. You were like adamant. I can't do the show. I'm like, well, okay, that's cool. No problem. Kevin and I will handle it. What do you got going on? I got to get a haircut and I got to mow the lawn. And I got to
7:30, and I was gonna mow my lawn today. It's my daughter's birthday
my,
tomorrow. I got a bunch of presents to wrap.
My wife mowed the lawn yesterday, and I usually feel like that makes me look bad, so I don't want her to do it. Is that what are your thoughts on letting the wife mow the lawn?
See, it's not even makes you look
My,
bad.
na-
Like,
my
I'm
neighbor's
impressed.
wife was mowing the lawn, and my wife was like, slow down, and then like rolled down the window, and I was like, what are you doing? Now my husband is going to expect that I mow the lawn.
Well, yeah, honestly, I don't. It makes me feel bad. Like people are driving by me, like that guy makes his wife mow the lawn. Like I don't want, I don't want her to have to.
I feel like we are treading into some Harrison Butker territory here, though.
Well, here's the thing. No. Credit to your wife for mowing the lawn.
gonna get
That's
canceled,
cool.
Law.
But I don't want Jenny to find out the little secret, because like mowing the lawn is one of my few places of peace where all you focus
it was until these
is the
cicadas.
grass.
I mowed the lawn the other day. The cicadas just all over
Keeping
me.
my
They're-
line straight. Mowing the lawn is a very therapeutic time.
Completely
And I
agree.
look forward to that every week. So that was why I was excited to get home and do it.
In Kansas City once, I bought a used lawnmower, and then I moved all the twigs, and then I mowed the lawn on my rental house. That was a Greg Bragg story for you.
All right, let's wrap it here. This
No,
has been the Chicago Sports Podcast. Kevin Kaduk, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs, Law Behind the Board. Thank you for joining us. It's been a fun hour. It's going to be a fun summer with the Bears on Hard Knocks, and we will be here
Hard Knock
the entire
Life
time talking about it.
For
See you next
us,
time.
it's a hard knock life for us.
We all silly like the mayor.